Hi, I'm Ryan Thompson here for Sky Magazine with Maya Ziv at Women's College Centex 2013, part of the Spin Ultimate College Tour. We're here with our Day 2 recap. The story of today was the wind.
Definitely.
15 to 20 mile an hour winds. All these games were upwind, downwind. As you can see right now, the wind is still blowing. And different teams handle this differently. Some teams, like finalist Ohio State, they like to stack their upwind lines, really trying to get those double breaks early and often. Other teams like Iowa State were content to play the same 7 players going downwind, make sure they didn't get broken, and then try and steal one of those upwinders whenever they could. And so that's really kind of the story of the semifinals. In the first semifinal, you have Ohio State versus Minnesota. Ohio State goes up strong, goes up early, winning eventually 14-6, but really on the strength of players like Paige Soper, Cassie Swafford, Nina Finley, the freshman, coming in, getting those upwind goals by stacking that upwind line. They were kind of content to let some of their other solid players, but not necessarily what you consider their superstars, to go in on those downwind points and trust them to get those conversions and put it in. So Ohio State won 14-6 to advance to the finals. Other semifinal was Tufts, Iowa State, and that one was a very different game. Teams really struggled to get those upwind goals in that game. In the first half, each team broke once. Iowa State broke upwind to start. Tufts then converted their upwind O point and then broke the downwinder to keep it on serve. In the second half there, Tufts breaks upwind for the first time they were able to get that break upwind to go up 12-11. But then Iowa State holds upwind, really breaking the mark well, hitting their strong cutters, moving it up without turnovers to get that upwind break. And then Iowa State breaks downwind the other way to win 13-12 and make it to finals. Only 2 upwind goals per team. Iowa State, though, won the flip, and because of that, they won the game. And interestingly enough, that's the story in the finals again. Iowa State coming out on offense, receiving, going downwind that very first point. That was the difference maker in that game. There were no upwind scores the entire game.
Wow.
Iowa State played their same 7 players going downwind pretty much the entire game. Really confident, really able to score those goals with quick points, 3-4 passes against whatever defense Ohio State threw against them. Ohio State, meanwhile, they had the 2 closest chances to break upwind, both times dropping the disc about 5 yards outside of the upwind end zone. But they tried everything. They stacked their D lines, they stacked their O lines. Nothing they could do was able to break Iowa State going downwind. And in that game, Cammie Nelson of Iowa State ended up winning the Spin Ultimate MVP jersey. She was great as a cutter who got the disc in and then threw hucks for goals to other cutters, or going deep herself, getting those goals. Iowa State ended up winning that game 14-13. No breaks. They won the flip. They won the game. That was the finals of Centex with those 20-mile-an-hour winds. And really, they showed a lot of resolve, a lot of pressure with no breaks in that game. O-lines have to convert. Iowa State was able to do that. And that's the story of D1. Maya, tell us about D3, what happened over at the other fields.
Definitely. It sounds like D1 was actually really similar to the Division III games. Lots of upwind, downwind. The flip was really crucial for many of the teams. In the Harvard versus Rice semifinal, Harvard actually got to face Rice again, and they were pretty excited about that because they had beat them the day before in the initial crossovers. But this time it was all Rice. They won the flip and then got 2 upwind breaks, really important. Nice. So they actually ended up winning 9-4, I believe, 9-4, 9-5, and they went on to the finals. And then they would actually face MIT, who played Texas State for about half a game, and then Texas State sort of suffering some injuries. They were losing the will to play, and they were pretty checked out. They decided to actually forfeit the second half. So MIT went on to the finals sort of uncontested in the second half, and they spent the rest of their time on the sidelines of other games, sort of watching the games, staying in the mindset and prepping for how they would win, with this wind being so vicious. So in the finals, we had Rice facing off against MIT, and Rice actually pulled downwind to start, and MIT was working it upwind, but they actually managed to break right away in the first point. So MIT breaks, and they pull downwind, and then Rice follows up with another break Very exciting stuff. So right away we have 2 upwind breaks, and then they ended up trading points until the very end, but actually pretty notable. There were 2 Callahans in a row going
impressive.
downwind. Yeah, both on dump throws. Really exciting stuff for both teams. They were both very excited. It was great to see. But then MIT at the very end, it's tied up. We're at 7-7. And MIT's working it all the way up the field, and they're on the end zone line, and there's a call on a travel from a couple throws ago. It goes back, and then the dump leads to a turnover, and Rice puts the game away 8-7. So at the end of the day, MIT, who started in Division II, came down to the D3 brackets, played an amazing game, but couldn't stop Rice, absolutely dominant. Emily Wheeler on Rice actually won the MVP jersey, so she's the Spin Ultimate MVP for the Division III brackets. She scored 90% of the points for Rice. Absolutely amazing cutter. She'd hit the ground at will. Like, she laid out for, every throw that needed to be caught and played such an integral role for her team. So she really made the difference for Rice this weekend, and congratulations to them winning the Division III brackets. Lots of exciting games all around.
Right. Congrats to Rice for winning D3, Michigan for winning D2, and Iowa State Women's Scorned for winning the final of the D1 Women's Centex.
Second time in a row. Second year in a row.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yep. With the 2013 College Tour presented by Spin Ultimate, I'm Ryan Thompson
I'm Maya Zib.
for Skyd Magazine. Thanks for watching.